Wednesday. Guess what happens on Wednesday?
It's time for us to talk antiques again.
Let's talk it.
Well,
we're gonna talk a little something different today.
yeah.
We're gonna talk about the new movies, the Force Awakens, which has a little bit to do with Star Wars collectibles. If you want to do your research, but I think that Keith is going to talk a little bit about it here.
Yeah.
Get us
Keith,
going.
Do you think Keith? I think he forgot to comb his hair today. Look at it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think he overcombed it.
He overcombed
I
it.
think he overcombed
Okay.
it. Or,
Well, at least
Called sleeping in
or
and
too much
running
mix.
late.
He's got more than Lucky has.
Well, I'll tell you what, Keith. It looks like what Keith did. He slipped on it. That's what he did. He just slipped on it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put mine under the faucet.
And then headphone hair makes it worse. You put these on and it makes it worse.
So you have headphone hair.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Keith, you're going to read a little printout about the new movie. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Article: Star Wars Force Awakens targets Christmas miracle, destroys Monday record. More box office records have fallen as Star Wars: The Force Awakens takes another 40.1 million on Monday, shattering previous Monday records of 27.6 million set by Spider-Man 2, and has surpassed $610 million worldwide. It's now the fastest film to hit $250 million domestically, as that and other records continue to line up just so they can be knocked down. Considering the unprecedented nature of The Force Awakens opening weekend, finding any kind of comparison isn't easy. The closest opening weekend was Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 2. It enjoyed a massive preview session and then saw a steep Saturday drop. However, Star Wars continued to climb. That said, 33% of Monday's drop means that Harry Potter no longer applies. Harry Potter experienced a 49% drop on its first Monday. So Star Wars is still better. Avatar is the number 2 movie. Star Wars is now number 1. Current movie is still Star Wars, so it's still Avatar, and Star Wars is at number 2, trying to beat Avatar.
In sales.
In sales.
Right.
2009 was the last time a Christmas fell on a Friday, and that year Avatar, going into Christmas weekend, had the same drop on that first Monday. Should the trend continue, and there's little reason that it wouldn't, Star Wars would top 300 million by the end of today, and this was printed out today.
Well, we know it's over 600 million right now. So.
Okay.
About
600 million.
610, something
Yeah,
like that.
610.
Yeah, Friday it was 500, so now it's 610. Wow. Talking about Avatar, the second weekend, $185 million was spent on The Force Awakens. However, if you subtract the Thursday night from the first day, then there's only a slight drop. It shows records right here. Monday they got 40 million.
This is Star Wars.
Just the Star Wars. Tuesday was 39 million. The highest was Friday, 56 million. Over the weekend combined, they had $185 million sold on Star Wars just in these 3 days.
Wow.
As for records, it's already broken. The largest Thursday preview, they broke that record, is 57 million. The previous was 43 million with Harry Potter. Global IMAX, the record was 48 million. The old record was 44 million. Jurassic World, domestic IMAX, 30 million. Is the new record. 20 million was Jurassic World. Largest Friday opening day in a single day, $119 million. Previous record, 91 million, Harry Potter. Largest Sunday is 60, and the old record was 57, Jurassic World. Lots of records they broke. Largest Monday was 40 million. Previous was 27 with Spider-Man 2. Largest 4 days was 288 million. The old one was 234 with Jurassic World. Domestic opening weekend, 247 million. Jurassic World had 208. Worldwide opening weekend, $529 million worldwide.
God.
4,000 theaters. Previous record, 524 million, Jurassic World. So just a 6 million. Just 6 million. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Highest per theater average, $59,000 per theater. The previous record was $48,000. Jurassic World. Top opening theater average, $59,000. The old one was $48,000 with Jurassic World. PG-13 rated movie. Best PG-13 rated movie for opening weekend. The previous was Jurassic World. Holiday movies, it beat out Hunger Games. Overall top 12, best weekend since June. For December, it's the best December since 2009. The best single December day since The Hobbit came out, and that was a few years ago. That movie was 37 million. This one's 119 million. The widest December opening was 4,000 theaters, where the previous 4,100, and the previous was 4,045 with The Hobbit. Fastest to 1 million in one day, Jurassic World took 2 days. Fastest to 250 million took 4 days. Jurassic World took 5 days. And December opening weekend, 247.9 million, where The Hobbit had only 84 million.
All right. Now, I talked to our producer, and he said he just went and seen the movie, okay? So I asked him, I said, how much the tickets cost? Now, we're talking about in Tullahoma. So it was roughly about $10 a piece. Okay. So what I did, I Googled and went to our buddy eBay and done completed auction. Now, this was prior to the movie opening.
Right.
It says 5 Star Wars tickets, $355. Now, what this to me sets up to be is almost like a concert.
Yes.
You know how when they buy concert tickets for $40 and they sell them for $300 a piece.
Right.
So, you know, I've seen that happen with Bonnaroo a lot.
People buy
But
them out and
now,
sell them on the secondary
Here's
markets.
4 more tickets.
My
and
Adele
some-
tickets.
Huh?
My Adele tickets, I got them for $40 last week.
Yeah.
And my ticket right now for the $40 ticket is going for $500 and $600.
See what I mean?
So you
Okay.
finally got through. You
Oh yeah, I got them.
Yeah, but they sold out real quick.
The entire
Oh, yes.
15 U.S. cities. I think she had like 30 dates in the U.S. sold out in 45 minutes.
Wow.
I'd be
Every
about $400
single-
richer.
Oh yeah, we actually we got an extra ticket.
Well, here's another.
So you
October the
done well.
26th. 4 tickets sold for $270. October the 30th, 4 tickets sold. You'd think it'd be going up for $179. No, I told you wrong. 4 tickets, October the 30th, brought $599.
Wow.
$599 for basically a $10 ticket. Let's see here. Let's get closer to.
Common sense has left the building everywhere, hasn't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well,
So-
anticipation's taking over.
Yeah, here's another one where they sold 2 tickets. 2 now. Brought $200.
$100 a ticket.
So that's a pretty good little investment. Keith, I think you might turn it out. Y'all, why don't you start checking this stuff out and become a scalper?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what I meant. If I was Keith, I'd be a little bit richer today.
Yeah. Well, I think he can become a
I
scalper.
believe
think
I
he
could turn
wants
on
to
one
see
of
the
her
concert.
record players.
It's an easy thing to do. People do not like the scalpers. That's even Ticketmaster was saying if they catch them, they'll cancel the tickets.
Really?
And the people like the scalpers, you have to show your original credit card. So I don't know if it was the same case with the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing now online people who buy them through a scalper.
Do they actually send you the ticket?
For me, I actually have to go to the place and actually pick them up there to prove that it was me.
But you pick them up and
I
they
have to-
physically give you the ticket.
Yes,
though.
I have to actually physically pick them up.
But which is okay.
Which is fine by me because I'm gonna be there anyway.
Yeah.
I did the pre-sale. The normal tickets, they'll mail them to you.
Yeah.
But if you're a scalper, some dude in Mexico could have done it, and you have to show your original credit card. So those tickets, you could buy a ticket for $500 and then still not be able to go because you don't have that dude's
Even though
credit
it was
card.
an original ticket.
Even though it's an original ticket, you don't have the original credit card.
Oh.
So somebody's gonna be out $500.
They don't even
The
have
scalper
to,
gets the money, but the person who
they
gets
don't
the
even have to
ticket,
forge them no more then, do they? They can
not
just,
really. If I read that right, you don't have to.
I've never really seen that happen with
That's an-
movies before. I mean, I'm with movies.
Yeah, with movies, I hadn't
concerts all
really-
the time.
Concerts.
Concerts, that's
And
normal.
ball games.
And ball
you know,
games.
Basketball.
But with
football.
movies being that big, that might start happening.
Yeah, can't,
Places like StubHub, it's a concert site. You can go and get tickets, which usually was good. Now, if you got to show your credit card, you're out of luck. Because that guy ain't going to be there.
You know, it amazes me with our country in the shape it's in and the financial problems that we have and we feeding everybody from the government. But yet all this is happening.
But Ray, you got to keep in mind there's very few of us that are on fixed incomes now. A lot of those, people make millions, hundreds of thousands.
It's amazing to me.
There's a lot more people probably making more money than what I mean,
It has to be.
They have to. Somebody
Yeah.
has to drive the economy.
Well, there's something driving it, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
not-
seen people could
It's not
afford
the
them kind of
average.
tickets.
It's not the average retired person. I mean, we drive it,
Yeah.
and I can count myself as retired.
You
But
talk about these crazy ticket prices. I saw an article a couple of weeks ago, and I found it again. A guy bought one ticket, bought the entire theater showing for Star Wars. He wanted to see it by himself.
Yeah.
Didn't want any distractions. Paid $2,180,
ain't
and he
that-
got the entire showing by himself to sit.
Well, that was really a bargain for the whole.
well compared to what
for the
I
whole
just quoted
theater
you here.
compared to
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Hey,
True.
now here's some of the Star Wars.
He got the whole thing.
That's
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Wow.
I'll have to post the picture online.
Yeah.
He grabbed them all. Got to
One
sit by
nut.
himself.
One nut sitting in there watching that by himself.
Well, just think if he'd have wanted to sell his seats, he could.
Oh yeah, he could have made
big
some money.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what he could have done. He could have had the most friends he'd ever going to have in his whole life. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
buy it out for big party.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's what they should have done, is had a Star Wars party.
Yeah.
But right there is a lot of people that makes a lot of money, and we just don't realize it. We grew up when
I need to get to know them.
we grew up when when you made $10 or $12 an hour, that was a lot of money.
Yes, it was.
But now you can't even get by on it.
Now, we were talking a while ago about some of the statistics. We said that the males made up 50% of the audiences.
58%?
58%. It
Yeah.
made up 58% of the audiences.
That's on this new movie.
This is on The Force Awakens. Adults made up 71%.
That is amazing.
Is this kind of a spider type man thing, or heroes for the people? Is that what it's about? I don't even have a clue what it's.
Well, it's about good versus evil, and swashbuckling and action. It's got a little bit of everything in
What
there.
they call
But
good evil and evil good. Huh?
but this one here in particular had the biggest percentage of females that there ever has been for Star Wars movies. And we were talking a while ago, I think they've really been marketing to women
Yeah.
this time, because this is the first time I've ever seen Star Wars lipstick.
What?
Yeah, CoverGirl had Star Wars lipstick.
Wow.
We were sitting over at David's the other night watching TV, and here comes a commercial for CoverGirl lipstick Star Wars. May the Force be with you.
Oh, mercy.
But
Well, our producer said he bought
Darth Vader Q-tips.
Darth Vader Q-tips.
yeah, I from the Phantom Menace, I had some pencils, some Phantom Menace pencils, but I used mine. I didn't save them. I bought them and used them.
Who's behind this movie? Disney?
Walt
Well, now
Disney
Disney owns
Studios
it now.
this time.
Oh, they.
They didn't own it originally.
They're adding Star Wars attractions to their theme parks. They've got a children's movie on their children's
I've seen
channel.
some pretty weird things at Disney World, so I guess that fits in.
Disney World stands to make a lot of money this time. And what'd you say, Dave? They expected the marketing to be over $4 billion.
$4 billion just in toy sales.
Yeah, right. Just in
Well, I don't know if it's just toys. It could be some of the lipstick and all
in
that.
their marketing.
Yes.
But that's a lot of money. that's not pocket change.
Well, when you're talking about a movie that here, it's not. When did it come out? Last week?
Just
Thursday.
last Friday.
Okay,
It hasn't
see,
even
it
been
ain't
a week.
been out a week.
It's been out 6 days. Yeah.
Okay. And already headed toward $1 billion sales?
Yeah, and don't open in China until
billion.
January, which is the second largest market.
So China hadn't even got the.
They haven't even got to see it yet. Don't open there till January.
Wow.
And they're the second largest market behind
I'm
us.
beginning to understand why we got crazy people running this country.
Yeah.
Everybody's voting for anybody.
But we're going to talk a little bit about some of the other Star Wars pictures and the other movies and how they came about, and then we'll talk a little bit about The Force Awakens. We're there now. If you don't want any spoilers, you don't need to listen to the last part, because just minor things. We're not going to give anything away, but we're gonna just talk about some of the characters.
Well,
we're not
as
going to talk
Philip,
about the plot.
Philip's the only one that's went and seen the movie already.
Isn't it
Right.
a kind of a space
Yeah.
oriented thing?
Yes.
I figured that would be more horror than it would be.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
That's what they say, Ray.
Yeah.
That's what they say in it.
Yeah.
Huh.
But now this all started out, and I think we've talked about this before, in 71 when Universal Studios agreed to make American Graffiti and Star Wars. They had a 2-picture contract with George Lucas. Now, although Star Wars, it was rejected in its early concept stages. American Graffiti was completed in 73, and a few months later, George Lucas...
Why did they reject it?
Well, I'm fixing to
Okay, you're going to
tell you that.
All right.
I am, huh? A few months later, Lucas wrote a short summary called The Journal of Willis, which told the tale of the training of an apprentice who he
Hold
called...
that thought right there.
Okay.
Training of an apprentice.
Training of an apprentice.
We're going to take a break.
All right.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
Madeline's Antiques and Uniques at 6107 Murfreesboro Road in Manchester has been helping collectors find just the right thing since 2008. With 40 quality dealers and a constantly changing inventory of collectibles from the 1800s to the present, they have many unique items in the store and new things coming in daily. Are you looking for the perfect lamp or clock to finish your collection? A vintage lunchbox from your childhood? Well, you can find that plus any number of other unique items in their huge building. With their easy access off I-24, they meet many travelers from around the world and just around the corner that come to buy and sell antiques, or just to stop and have a free cup of coffee and a cookie while browsing around the store. Come visit owner Madeline Kemp and travel back in time at Madeline's Antiques and Uniques. So many memories.
John Hirschman. I'm one of the original 6 owners of P&H Rentals. Started the company 30 years ago when we saw a need for individual, construction, industrial, and commercial storage. We have trailers and containers for lease and sell. Our physical location is 2947 Old Manchester Highway, Tullahoma, Tennessee. My phone number is area code 931-273-4252.
All right, we're back, and we were talking about the first draft of Star Wars, which was called The Journal of Willis. And it told the tale of the training of an apprentice who at that time he called C.J. Thorpe as a Jedi Bendu, Space Commando. That was what he called him to start with. Okay. And Mace Windu was the one that trained him. Does that sound like Mace Windu,
Is there
later?
a dictionary comes with this movie?
A character that was later developed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, this story was too difficult to understand, so Lucas he began writing a 13-page treatment called The Star Wars on April the 17th of 73, which had parallels with The Hidden Fortress. By 74, he had expanded the treatment into a rough draft, which was a screenplay, adding elements such as the Sith and the Death Star, and the protagonist, who at that time they called him Anakin Starkiller. Okay, now for the second draft, he made some simplifications and introduced their hero on a farm as Luke Starkiller. Okay, Anakin became Luke's father, a wise Jedi Knight. The Force was also introduced as a mystical energy field. All right, the next draft removed the father character and replaced him with a substitute named Ben Kenobi. And in 76, a fourth draft had been prepared for principal photography, and it was titled The Adventures of Luke Starkiller, as taken from the Journal of Willis, Saga 1, The Star Wars. During production, that's when Lucas changed the name of Luke Starkiller to Luke Skywalker.
Okay, I was going to ask you that very question, because I know there's one of these rock and roll, I don't know what these rock and roll, some kind of fast-talking character.
Right.
They made him out to be Luke Skywalker. That's where that come from.
That's
I'm
right.
learning something
I
this
was
morning,
trying to kind of bring us up to date here. Now, John Williams, composer of the musical scores for all 6 of the original films, and he done the original trilogy, and he done the prequel, and he also done this one, The Force Awakens.
Well, this was a rap star I was thinking of. I couldn't think of it at the time.
John Williams, he could be a rock star for his themes. Okay, at that point, Lucas was not expecting the film to become part of a series. The fourth draft of the script had some subtle changes that made it more satisfying as a self-contained film, ending with the destruction of the Galactic Empire itself by destroying the Death Star. However, Lucas had previously conceived of the film as the first in a series of adventures. Later, he realized that the film would not, in fact, be the first in the sequence, but a film in the second trilogy in the saga. This is stated explicitly in George Lucas's preface to the 1994 reissue of Splinter of the Mind's Eye. We was talking about that earlier. That was a book that came out in the late 70s.
Was that the fellow that created all this or wrote the thing?
George Lucas.
Yeah,
Isn't he the one that was calling the cops the killers and the killers cops or something? I don't know.
I don't know
I
about
don't think
that.
so.
Nah, he's an
no.
Is that
I
not
don't
the same one?
he's an incredible
Okay.
genius.
No.
Give me
Lucas
there,
was.
Luke.
Okay, and it wasn't long.
No, I tell you what he's talking about. He's talking about the Moore guy,
No,
not Moore.
This was, they was doing his hands and feet and all that stuff on the sidewalk the other day.
Yeah.
And his name was that guy right there, I'm pretty sure.
George Lucas.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
How old is he? Do you have any clue?
I'd say. George,
I'm almost sure
I don't
that's the
know
name of the
George
fellow.
Well, he'd be in his
He's
70s.
I'd say, yeah, at
This
least.
guy's not that old. That I
Yeah.
said.
No, I just can't.
But now in the preface, he says, it wasn't long after I began writing Star Wars that I realized the story was more than a single film could hold. As a saga of the Skywalkers and Jedi Knights unfolded, I began to see it was a tale that could take at least 9 films to tell, 3 trilogies. And I realized in making my way through the backstory and after story that I was really setting out to write the middle trilogy, the middle story.
And this guy got all, I can't even write a song.
Now that was where it started. It started in the middle, and then you had the 3 that came after those 3, which were the prequel. They took place before them.
I wonder how he received this
You
story.
had 4, 5, and 6. Then you had 1, 2, and 3 came before that.
He just.
I mean, where
I
did it
think
come
what
from?
happened was he didn't realize it was going to be so big,
No.
and that he had to back up and reassess the writing of these stories because the first one was so big. He wasn't expecting. He was expecting it to be kind of like what was the movie you said did the 2-deal package with?
American Graffiti.
He probably thought it was, which was big, but nothing like Star Wars.
Right.
He don't ride bicycles anymore then, does he?
Now, so the second draft, it had a teaser for a never-made sequel about the Princess of Ondos. And by the time of the third draft, some months later, Lucas had negotiated a contract that gave him rights to make 2 sequels. Not long after, Lucas met with author Alan Dean Foster, and he hired him to write these 2 sequels as novels. The intention was that if Star Wars was successful, Lucas could adapt the novels into screenplays. Okay, he had also, by that point, he had come up with an elaborate backstory to aid, the writing process. Because you got to kind of know about what your story's going to be before you can write it.
Well, that's kind of like songwriting. A lot of the guys have said that they come to them all at once and they had to get up out of the bed or whatever from their sleep and write it down on anything.
That happens a lot on them songwriters.
Boy, guy done a lot of writing, didn't he?
A lot of writing.
But this is not the first thing he'd ever written. I mean,
oh Lord, no. Now, when
But this is the most famous.
Oh yeah, when Star Wars proved successful, Lucas decided to use the films as the basis for an elaborate serial. Although at one point he considered walking away from the series altogether. Okay, he wanted to create an independent filmmaking center that would become Skywalker Ranch, and he saw that as an opportunity to use the series, to finance them as a financing agent. Okay, Alan Dean Foster had already begun writing the first sequel novel, but Lucas decided to abandon his plan to adapt Foster's works. The book was released as Splinter of the Mind's Eye the following year. And it was a good book. I read Splinter of the Mind's Eye. At first, Lucas envisioned a series of films with no set number of entries like the James Bond series, And in an interview with Rolling Stone in August of '77, he said that he wanted his friends to each take turns at directing the films and giving unique interpretations on the series. He also said that the backstory in which Darth Vader turns to the dark side, kills Luke's father, and fights Ben Kenobi on a volcano as the Galactic Republic falls, which we saw in Revenge of the Sith, would make an excellent sequel. It ended up being a prequel. Okay, later that year, Lucas hired science fiction author Lee Brackett to write Star Wars 2 with him. They held story conferences, and by late November of '77, he had produced a handwritten treatment called The Empire Strikes Back. Okay, the treatment is similar to the final film, except that Darth Vader does not reveal he's Luke Skywalker. He's Luke's father. In the first draft that Brackett would write from this, Luke's father appears as a ghost to instruct Luke. Ain't that funny? And well, I may...
Tell you what, let's do. With that, let's take a break.
All right.
John Hirschman. I'm one of the original 6 owners of P&H Rentals. Started the company 30 years ago when we saw a need for individual, construction, industrial, and commercial storage. We have trailers and containers for lease and sell. Our physical location is 2947 Old Manchester Highway, Tullahoma, Tennessee. My phone number is area code 931-273-4252.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
Madeline's Antiques and Uniques at 6107 Murfreesboro Road in Manchester has been helping collectors find just the right thing since 2008. With 40 quality dealers and a constantly changing inventory of collectibles from the 1800s to the present, they have many unique items in the store and new things coming in daily. Are you looking for the perfect lamp or clock to finish your collection? A vintage lunchbox from your childhood? Well, you can find that plus any number of other unique items in their huge building. With their easy access off I-24, they meet many travelers from around the world and just around the corner that come to buy and sell antiques, or just to stop and have a free cup of coffee and a cookie while browsing around the store. Come visit owner Madeline Kemp and travel back in time at Madeline's Antiques and Uniques. So many memories.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
All right, we're back.
All right.
Keith, you have something to say. I mean, you're getting to talk a lot today.
I got a lot to say. But I don't know what to say right now.
Next week, comb
You
your hair.
posted some pictures on Facebook.
Oh,
didn't you,
Facebook, yeah. Go check out our Facebook page and a couple of funny stories. A CoverGirl lipstick and a guy who spent the $2,000 on the ticket. We found a picture of him. So go check out our Facebook page. Plus, side note, with the storms and stuff coming in, since we're on, be watching our Facebook page and listening. We'll keep you updated. Possibly getting bad in just a little bit. So,
they said it's supposed to really get bad after a while.
I'll be live on Swap and Shop at 11, so if something happens then, I'll break in.
But also you said that we want people, if you have a Star Wars story, like if you went to see one of the first shows
if you went,
or whatever.
call us and tell us about it.
Tell us about it. Yeah, we'd like to hear
How
your
crazy
stories.
was it? Did you go to Tullahoma? Or I got friends that went to Nashville. Did you go to a big city or stay here? The drive-in did it 6 times. Did you go there?
Yeah, not just a new one. The old one.
Yeah,
Some
true.
of your old movies.
Yeah.
Right.
You got a call?
Got a call. Nope, not anymore.
Okay. Well, when we left, we were talking about Darth Vader being revealed as Luke's father. Now, when they were filming that, Luke didn't actually find out that Darth Vader was his father until it was time to film that. They kept that a secret. That was a secret in that movie, which was The Empire Strikes Back. Okay, Lucas first made use of the episode numbering of the films. Empire Strikes Back was listed as Episode 2. As Michael Kaminsky argues in The Sacred History of Star Wars, which is the Bible if you want to know what happens, that's a great book to buy, and you can get it on Amazon.com. The disappointment with the first draft probably made Lucas consider different directions in which to take the story. He made use of the new plot twist where Darth Vader claimed to be Luke's father. According to Lucas, he found the draft enjoyable to write as opposed to the year-long struggles writing the first film, and quickly wrote 2 more drafts, both in April 78. Now, he wrote both of these in 78. He also took the script to a darker extreme by having Han Solo imprisoned in carbonite and left in limbo. Now, that was in Empire Strikes Back.
I don't mean to be offensive, but is this guy normal?
Oh, yeah.
I've never...
Like we talked about earlier, though, he based this story on, what was you saying, Philip?
The Germans and
lots of different things.
But not just World War II, the Roman
Buck
Empire,
Rogers.
Buck Rogers. So he just put all these together to come up with the Star Wars stuff.
Yes, he did.
The stormtroopers, the helmets. That's the German World War II German helmets.
Right, that's exactly where that came from. Okay, the new story point of Darth Vader being Luke's father, now that had drastic effects on the series, as Kaminsky argues in his book. It is unlikely that the plot point had ever seriously been considered or even conceived of before 78. and that the first film was clearly operating under an alternative storyline where Vader was separate from Luke's father. And I think I think he's right there. There's not a single reference to this plot point before 78. Now, after writing the second and third drafts of Empire Strikes Back, in which Anakin Skywalker was Ben Kenobi's brilliant student and had a child named Luke, but was swayed to the dark side by Emperor Palpatine, who became a Sith and not simply a politician.
Hey, Ronnie, you was talking about Han Solo being frozen in carbonite.
Right.
They got a full-size replica right now on eBay.
Uh-huh.
All they want for it is $4,000.
Is that all they want?
$39.98.
$39.98?
Huh? Well, let me just see what.
Well, that would be nice to hang on your wall like Jabba had it hung on his. That was his favorite decoration.
Here's what it says. This is what really kills me about eBay. Free local pickup.
Yeah.
Of course it's going to be free if you pick it up. How can they charge you to go pick it up? It don't say what the shipping is. It does say vary. Well, you know, if you're talking about a full-size piece here, it's going to cost some money to ship that thing, isn't it?
I'm telling you.
Hey, you want to hear the best thing about it? That what my 1,500 of them made.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
That's all?
Just 1,500.
Yeah. I tell you what, it really would look good hanging on your wall like Jabba had it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, we were talking about, excuse me, Anakin Skywalker being Obi-Wan Kenobi's student, and we were talking about Emperor Palpatine. Now, in the movie Star Wars, I think that they really did know at that point that the Emperor was a Sith. I kind of disagree about that. But Kenobi hid Luke on Tatooine while the Republic became an empire, and Vader systematically hunted down and killed the Jedi, which was, you know, the point of that story, which we talked about that a while ago. With this new backstory in place, Lucas decided that the series would be a trilogy. And that's when he changed Empire Strikes Back from Episode 2 to Episode 5. In the next draft, Lawrence Kasdan helped write several of them, including The Force Awakens. He had just completed writing Raiders of the Lost Ark. He was then hired to write the next drafts, which was given additional input from director Irvin Kershner. Kasdan and Kershner and producer Gary Kurtz saw the film as a more serious and adult film, which was helped by the new darker storyline, and developed the series from a light adventure roots to what it is now. By the time he began writing Episode 6 in 81, then it was entitled Revenge of the Jedi, but now he changed that to Return of the Jedi because he didn't think that Jedi should be vengeful. That's why that title was changed. Okay.
And after this, we're going to have to take a break after this call.
All right.
Great.
Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, what's the Monica Lewinsky book worth?
Monica Lewinsky book?
The life story of Monica Lewinsky.
I don't know. We'll have to. I tell you what. You hang up and listen. We'll see if we can find that. We'll see if there's a book on eBay that's sold.
Is that Bill's girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we'll see what we can find you on that.
She was his intern or something like that.
She's probably going to be in the secretary position when the hell.
All right.
All right.
Hey, you know where you're at right now?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a break.
Good.
So put an X right there, and we'll start when we get back here.
All right. I know right where I'm at.
Madeline's Antiques and Uniques at 6107 Murfreesboro Road in Manchester has been helping collectors find just the right thing since 2008. With 40 quality dealers and a constantly changing inventory of collectibles from the 1800s to the present, they have many unique items in the store and new things coming in daily. Are you looking for the perfect lamp or clock to finish your collection? A vintage lunchbox from your childhood? Well, you can find that plus any number of other unique items in their huge building. With their easy access off I-24, they meet many travelers from around the world and just around the corner that come to buy and sell antiques, or just to stop and have a free cup of coffee and a cookie while browsing around the store. Come visit owner Madeline Kemp and travel back in time at Madeline's Antiques and Uniques. So many memories.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
My name's John Hirschman. I'm one of the original 6 owners of P&H Rentals. Started the company 30 years ago when we saw a need for individual, construction, industrial, and commercial storage. We have trailers and containers for lease and sell. Our physical location is 2947 Old Manchester Highway, Tullahoma, Tennessee. My phone number is area code 931-273-4252.
We would like to thank Dr. David Florence for supporting Let's Talk Antiques. See Dr. Florence at 804 Kalon Street in Manchester for all of your medical needs. Call 728-5522 for your appointment today. Most insurances accepted.
All right. Hey, a gentleman asked us about that book, Ronnie, and we looked it up when we was on break.
Yeah, the Monica Lewinsky book.
Yeah.
Autographed, that book was worth $195, and if it's not autographed, it was $1.50.
Yeah, so it's no value much to it. Hey, well, while we was on break also, I found a full-size Darth Vader statue. They want $3,200 or best offer, and they'll ship it to you from New York for $50.
For $50.
Well, 49 and some change. So
Yeah.
I just rounded it off to $50.
There was one of those in a museum that Brian, your son, had went to. He got me some pictures. He had C-3PO and R2-D2 and Darth Vader. They were all full size. They were really nice looking. Okay, now we're gonna try to get back here. I don't know if we're going to have time to,
Well, you
to
only
work
got
our
about
way
7 or 8 minutes left.
through all of the movies. By the time George Lucas had begun writing episode 6 in 81, and I told you it was titled Revenge of the Jedi at that time, much had changed. Making Empire Strikes Back was stressful and costly. Lucas's personal life was disintegrating. He was burned out and he wasn't wanting to make any more Star Wars films. And he vowed that he was done with the series in 83. And when Time Magazine interviewed him, he was saying that he wasn't going to make any more. But of course, after he got his divorce from his wife, he didn't have much choice.
Money either.
So he had to start making more movies.
He had to go back and make the movies. Okay.
Imagine that.
Now, Lucas's 81 Rough Draft had Vader competing with the Emperor for possession of Luke, and in the second script, the revised Rough Draft, Vader became a sympathetic character. Now, Lawrence Kasdan was hired to take over once again after, George was getting burnt out in these final drafts. Vader, he was explicitly redeemed and finally unmasked. This change in character would provide a springboard to the tragedy of Darth Vader's storyline that underlines the prequels. Now, we're not going to get into the prequels right now.
Well, I guess you need to tell people who Darth Vader was when he was a kid.
He was Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker.
There's a whole lot to this
Darth
Star
Vader.
Wars stuff.
A lot. I mean, we could talk
say, I
about this
recall
for days and days. if we
I
wanted
recall a
to.
preacher around here that was named Doris Raider or something like that. That's who I thought y'all were talking about at first.
I was talking earlier when, after the movie came out, I had a copy of Mad Magazine. They called him that rat Zader.
Well, Mad Magazine, I bet you a good copy of that'd be worth some money.
I bet it would too. I mean, I'm not
Philip,
the
look
only-
that up and see what the Mad Magazine copy's bringing, a good one.
But now, Philip, one of our producers here, he went and seen episode 7. I haven't seen it. He was going to give us his take on it.
Yeah, I tell you what, Philip, you better come on over here and do that because we don't have that many minutes left. Sit down right here.
Okay, I held out and didn't go see it on Thursday, but I did go see the matinee on Friday. And it was 2 hours of nonstop action, and it was really quick and exciting. It was an awful lot like episode 4, kind of a remake like of it.
Right.
But enough to where it different to where it didn't bother me.
Could you follow the story? Now, I haven't seen it. You can follow the story really well.
I followed the story really well, but it moves so fast that little kids might have trouble following along, especially if they haven't seen the originals.
Right, and do you think the movie would stand alone by itself, or did it set? I guess it already went in and set up for the next one.
Oh yeah, it was completely an episode of a bigger story.
Right.
If I've never seen any of them, could I see it and know what's going on, or am I gonna be clueless?
You can see it and know what's going on.
I mean, I know basics of like people and stuff, but if I hadn't seen the old ones, would I be clueless coming in?
No, you could follow it, but you would enjoy it more.
I've seen the old ones.
You know
Lots of movies are like that, you know. If you don't know the characters or what's going on, they don't really stand alone. But you know, I like a movie that does both. You know, kind of like, you know, the James Bond movies. You know, it can stand by itself as a movie, or you know, it tell you more. Now, I know when Revenge of the Sith came out, I mean, everybody was awaiting that movie.
Right.
They really wanted to see that movie because it answered a lot of their questions.
Right.
And you said that this movie answered the question about the stormtroopers, you know, because they were all clones to start with.
Right.
Tell that story.
Yeah, they explained that pretty early on because the main character is obviously not a clone
Right.
of Boba Fett.
Right.
So they explained that when you know, it went by really fast, but when the Empire comes in and wipes out a place, they would take the children and indoctrinate them into being stormtroopers. And so it's an experiment that they're working on.
Right.
So.
Where the clones come from?
Well, no, that's where this army came from, and
Okay.
they weren't using clones.
Okay.
And then they didn't explain why, but they just said that they were.
They told us, you know, why they didn't all look alike.
Yeah, and there's a whole lot of questions.
That's
that
a
they
question
left
I've had
hanging
for years.
for
You know,
the
is
next episode. Yeah.
is why do even from some of the earlier ones, you know, after I saw Attack of the Clones, you know, then I went back and I wondered why in the original trilogy they didn't all look alike.
Yeah, so there you go.
So-
And I looked up that 1978 Star Wars Mad Magazine.
Yeah, what'd you find?
$52.46. So not an incredible value, but
a good price
definitely,
for
you
a
know,
Mad Magazine.
for $1, original price.
Nothing
is-
signed or anything.
Yeah.
And I would give anything if I had mine back.
Yeah, me too.
Because I've thought
You
about
can
that
get
thing.
$52 and get it back.
I don't think I want it that bad. I said I'd get
$52
I
to
said I'd
get
give
yours
anything,
back.
but
You could call it yours.
yeah, $52.
I'll tell you what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to get out of here. So if you got something you want to say within 60 seconds, go ahead.
I don't think I have anything that I can work my way through that fast.
Yeah.
All I want to say is.
Are you going to go see the movie?
I can't wait to see the movie.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to give it a week or two and let it die down, you know, so the crowds won't be so bad. Maybe,
Well, you could
maybe
do like
after
that other
the-
rich guy, just buy out the whole
Yeah, but I'm not a rich guy. I can't do that.
Well, you could finance it.
I'll do good to pay for my ticket. But yeah, I can't wait to see it. You know, especially after talking to Philip. You know, it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
All I can say is, may the force be with you all.